On September 11th, claimed nearly 3,000 lives that day. But 2 decades later, the death toll continues to mount for emergency responders who breathed in ground zero toxins. News 12 senior investigative reporter Tara Rosenblum has been following their escalating health struggles since 2006. Here's where they are today.
Today, we've had a national tragedy.
Never seen nothing like it in my life.
Oh my.
Next thing I know, it was complete darkness.
You can never put it in words.
Back!
When the Twin Towers crumbled on September 11th, 2001, nearly 90,000 emergency responders from across the tri-state raced to the front lines of the unfolding tragedy.
I'm getting behind a car.
Hoping to save lives.
Come on in! Come on in!
Thinking little of their own. Because they were told they didn't have to.
The concentrations are such that they don't pose a health hazard.
So they breathed that air in for months.
I mean, you can almost feel the toxins going into your lungs.
Using little more than paper towels, or in some cases, just their hands as masks, clearing away nearly 2 million tons of toxic debris.
It wasn't on my mind.
But 2 decades later, the bill is coming due.
I was coughing up blood for weeks.
By now, you've seen the terrible toll of the World Trade Center dust, because there is no shortage of 9/11 heroes whose once healthy bodies are now ravaged by 9/11 linked illnesses.
It's so important never to forget.
Former NYPD Lieutenant David Chong, now the White Plains Police Commissioner, is one of those heroes. He was inside the South Tower fighting to save lives when the floor underneath him split in half.
Oh, I thought I was dead.
20 years later, he is fighting pancreatic cancer.
I take 30 pills a day.
Commissioner Chong is far from alone, one of almost 15,000 9/11 responders battling cancer, according to new data released by health officials to the Turn to Tara team. Another 40,000 Ground Zero workers suffer from chronic ailments at rates much higher than the general population, ranging from heart disease to serious upper respiratory issues. But 4,000 of them are no longer here to share their stories.
The father of 5 lost his battle with a 9/11 related cancer.
One loss struck my team particularly hard.
I can't walk, I can barely use my hands.
After years of covering the heroic health battle of former Marine and Peekskill detective Charlie Wassel, we reported on his death back in 2013. Wassel died still waiting for benefits from the 9/11 Victim Compensation Fund.
It's not something that we should have had to fight that hard about.
Retired NYPD officer turned attorney Matt McCauley was a driving force behind the federal legislation. I was there in Washington as he lobbied Congress alongside fellow 9/11 responders for financial assistance. Now McCauley's on a different mission to ensure the legacy of his fallen comrades lives on. 2 large stone monoliths
Right here.
will be unveiled at the Rising in Westchester County, etched with the names of the local responders who died from exposure to World Trade Center toxins.
We will continue to add names every year.
The health crisis shaking the 9/11 community made even worse by COVID-19.
The problem is we don't know where it's taking us.
Dr. Michael Crane is the medical director of the World Trade Center Health Program at Mount Sinai. He says, as bad as it's been, he fears the worst is yet to come.
It's going to get harder. There's going to be more conditions. Asbestos is known to produce 2 types of cancers. It usually starts at the 20-year mark.
Which means the tragedy of 9/11 will continue to take its toll for decades, not only on the bodies of these heroes, but their minds as well. Commissioner Chong knows that struggle himself all too well.
At first, I had survivor's guilt.
His goal now is to keep his name off this memorial for as long as he can.
You live day by day, Tara.
So he can continue to share his story and honor the sacrifices of the tens of thousands of men and women.
Each one of these persons is a soul.
Who put their lives on the line for others.
And it represents the soul of America.
Tara Rosenblum, News 12.